crash tragedy, a motorcyclist dead and another fighting for their life after a Perth charity ride went horribly wrong. Borderbungle, WA's reopening in limbo as two German tourists skip hotel quarantine at Sydney Airport and fly into Melbourne. The latest plan for a new maternity hospital in Perth, how the government plans to fund the $1.8 billion project. Bizarre scenes as Donald Trump holds a victory rally a month after losing the US election. And a space odyssey ends in the Australian outback, the capsule that's brought back dust containing secrets of the universe.
This is 10 News First Perth with Chris Bath.
A Christmas charity ride through Perth has ended in tragedy with one woman dead and two other motorcyclists in hospital. It happened on the Mitchell Freeway around 9:30 this morning, sending shockwaves through the tight-knit WA motorcycle community.
What started as a fundraiser for struggling families ended in tragedy.
There was just a motorbike, like I say, in the motorbike in the centre of the freeway down on the ground and smoke pouring out from it, just fire on fire, you know.
A three-motorcycle pile-up on the Mitchell Freeway. A 37-year-old woman pronounced dead at the scene. Three other riders rushed to hospital. It happened around 9:30 this morning. It's believed the female rider crashed into a freeway barrier. Two other bikes caught up in the carnage.
You're doing something for a good cause and then this happens, it's tragic for everyone. And also my heart goes out to the family that have lost a loved one as well, you know. It's tragic, you know.
The riders were part of the Perth Bikers charity ride, raising donations of cash, toys and food for the Salvation Army Christmas Appeal, the event celebrating its 45th year. Thousands of bikers travelling from Optus Stadium to HBF Arena in Joondalup before disaster struck.
It's a family of people that all working for the same thing, and then to find out that one person, even if you don't know them personally, but it's part of the group of, this whole family of people that are doing this, and that one person goes down and everybody feels it.
Detectives closed the freeway northbound for more than 4 hours as they cleared the wreckage. Police calling for any witnesses to this tragic crash to come forward. Brendan Crew for 10 News First.
Amelia Simpson joins us live now from Royal Perth Hospital where the injured riders were taken. Amelia, what do we know about their condition?
Well, Chris, a 67-year-old rider is currently in a critical condition here at Royal Perth Hospital. Doctors are doing everything they can to save his life. Now, police say his pillion passenger was also taken to hospital in a stable condition, while another 59-year-old rider is here at Royal Perth Hospital in a stable condition as well. But, Chris, it is just a terrible turn of events right in the middle of a Christmas charity ride.
Thanks, Amelia. Amelia Simpson there live from Royal Perth Hospital. WA's scheduled reopening to Victoria and New South Wales is in limbo tonight after another virus scare on the East Coast. It's been revealed two German travellers skipped quarantine in Sydney and caught a flight to Melbourne, forcing nearly 200 people into isolation.
Police keep a watchful eye at Sydney Airport as international arrivals are packed off to mandatory hotel quarantine. But in this same spot yesterday, a blunder, as officers allowed two travellers to skip quarantine altogether and instead board a flight to Melbourne.
Something's gone wrong in New South Wales. Let's get to the bottom of that.
The woman and her 15-year-old son flew in from Germany, where yesterday alone there were more than 23,000 new COVID cases.
There's been a misunderstanding and a lack of communication, and it was thought by the police officer that there was actually an exemption in place. And those people were then taken to the domestic airport.
They were allowed to board Virgin Flight 838 to Melbourne, a packed plane with 176 passengers and crew, all now in mandatory isolation, while rapid COVID tests on the travellers have come back negative.
We'll get another set of test results tomorrow. Hopefully they're negative again, and then those 170 plus people who are currently at home, they'll be able to be released.
The pair only caught when a Melbourne airport security guard became suspicious.
And we're very grateful for that employee doing a quite amazing job.
It's the second coronavirus scare from the East Coast in less than a week. The Premier today refusing to confirm if WA's border reopening is still on track for Tuesday.
The good thing is we've always taken a very precautionary and very cautious approach. But New South Wales currently has no community spread of the virus. We'll wait till tomorrow to see all of the testing results out of New South Wales.
As West Australians eagerly await a decision on quarantine-free travel, the Safe WA app is helping to bolster our state's tracing protocols. More than 625,000 West Aussies have downloaded the Safe WA app so far, and last night it was put to the test. But as thousands of people headed to pubs and bars, it crashed.
I'm advised there was a 15-minute outage in relation to the system. There was some problem with SMSs being sent.
It's understood the company behind the app ran out of cash to send users a confirmation text.
I think it's a bit interesting that the government hasn't really nailed that down yet. We think there's a smarter way to have done that.
Patrons were still required to check in on paper-based systems.
I'm sure we'll do our best to stop it happening in the future.
Steph Baumgartel for 10 News First.
After 37 days of no new COVID cases in Victoria, restrictions have been further eased. Among the changes, masks won't have to be worn in offices or hospitality venues, but they'll still be mandatory at certain indoor locations. And the number of people allowed to gather at a home or in a public area has also increased just in time for Christmas.
It's the silly season. Cheers! But Victorians have another reason to celebrate.
It's been a long, tough year for everyone, and it's really exciting to finish it on a high.
With no new cases for 37 days, restrictions are easing for a COVID normal summer. From midnight tonight, masks won't have to be worn in pubs, restaurants or in offices. But they will remain mandatory for some retail, on public transport and in taxis and rideshare vehicles. And they must still be carried at all times. Victorians will be able to have 30 visitors to their home and up to 100 people will be able to gather in a public place.
We know that without a vaccine, we will see cases. We will see outbreaks. But we're very confident that we'll be able to control those.
There'll be no caps on numbers in hospitality venues except for a density limit of 1 person per 2 square metres. And you'll be able to have a drink standing up.
Sitting down is fine, but to have the choice is fantastic.
Indoor gym classes can now have 50 people.
They were really struggling to sort of make ends meet and be commercially viable, so that's a big break for them.
There'll be no set cap on weddings and funerals at venues and religious gatherings, but there'll be a density limit, while dance floors are back with a maximum of 50 people. From January 11, 50% of private sector workers and 25% of the public service will return to the office.
Across the board now, there's effectively no restrictions that are going to stop businesses to be up and viable.
Today's easing of restrictions is expected to be the last major announcement of this kind this year, and possibly until the end of January. The Chief Health Officer says that should give residents and business owners a sense of certainty. It's a time to let loose, but not too much.
Are you going to be doing the nut bush?
No.
What's your dance of choice?
No.
Annie Kearney for 10 News First.
The Liberal Party has promised to ease the burden of payroll tax for thousands of small businesses if elected next year. The commitment would mean all businesses with payrolls of up to $1.5 million wouldn't pay the tax. Currently, the threshold is $1 million.
We're also introducing an exciting rebate policy whereby businesses with more than $1.5 million in payroll, right through to $3 million in payroll, will get rebated.
The tax relief plan would affect around 5,500 small businesses. The state government has promised to build a new hospital for women and babies to replace services at the ageing King Edward Memorial Hospital. A budget surplus has made the plan possible, with $1.8 billion set aside for the build.
Just hours old.
This is our little Bailey.
Bailey. That's early last night?
Yeah.
Did you sleep at all last night?
Not really.
Born into a historic hospital that stood in Subiaco for more than a century. These newborns among the 6,000 babies who start their lives at King Edward Memorial Hospital each year. But after 104 years, it's time for a fresh start.
Every one of the clinical teams right across the system acknowledges that this is a hospital which is in badly need of replacement. The very fabric of these buildings are really starting to creak.
The state government's announced it'll start building a new $1.8 billion maternity hospital in 2023. And like King Eddie's, it'll specialise in looking after the most complex patients in the state. The Premier proud to say a budget surplus has ensured the funds are already set aside.
We are not wasting our good fortune. We're not frittering it away. We're putting it towards something that is so meaningful and so important for the future.
A potential site earmarked next to Sir Charles Gardner's emergency department.
There's access to care for adults and also for our neonates to be able to have closer access to PCH is really contemporary for us and what we're looking for.
The government determined to avoid the same mistakes that delayed the opening of Perth Children's Hospital.
And we're very determined to get the water right. So very determined to get the water right. We don't want any issues with the water.
For us, we'll continue to match that and make sure that we can, regardless of what happens at the election, that hospital will be delivered.
Amelia Simpson for 10 News First.
The UK will start its COVID vaccination program this week after approving the Pfizer jab just days ago. The doses have arrived in Britain, the nurses are in training, and there's hope it'll soon make the pandemic a distant memory. Here's Europe correspondent Phoebe Bowden with the latest.
The UK is not taking any chances securing supplies of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine or any others. 10 News understands the military's on standby to airlift vaccines into the country if there are any logistical problems, including if the UK Brexits with no deal.
I just wanted you to confirm that you have consented to this vaccine.
What these nurses are embarking on is set to make history. The Pfizer jab was made in record time, and now the UK's rollout is set to be just as groundbreaking.
We would usually deliver flu vaccination over a number of months. This is a very quick rollout.
From Tuesday, they're distributing the Pfizer jab across the UK.
We're making every effort to ensure that we respond to the priority list. So over 80s, those people who are residents in care homes staff and then NHS staff.
If you think Britain is fast, the Russians have been even quicker. The only problem is their vaccine is not clinically approved. After the UK gave Pfizer the green light, the Kremlin decided to do the same with Sputnik V. Russia's vaccine rollout started this weekend. Although on day one it seemed there were more press than patients present. As the excitement of this vaccine sinks in here in Britain, so is the reality that it will take some time before life can return to normal. A UK tech company is hoping to speed it up with the creation of a COVID passport. It's a highly secure app that stores test results and immunisation records and alerts users about potential coronavirus contact.
We're focusing on Fit to Fly campaigns, back to work campaigns, stay at school campaigns, and Fans Are Back, which is getting people into venues to watch sports and other live events.
Until technology and vaccines bring normality, people will just have to keep doing their best to embrace a challenging world. Phoebe Bowden for 10 News First, London.
A man is being airlifted to hospital in Adelaide after being attacked by what's believed to be a great white shark. The surfer was bitten at Destries Bay on Kangaroo Island but was able to paddle back to shore. His injuries are not life-threatening. The beach has been closed. Outgoing US President Donald Trump has held his first rally since losing the election, still claiming he was the victor. With most of his legal challenges failing, the lame duck president is now calling on individual governors to overturn the results in their states. Here's US correspondent Eamon Ashton-Atkinson.
It was billed as the Trump victory rally, but in reality, it was another show of denial and delusion.
You know, we won Georgia, just so you understand.
In fact, President Trump lost the state by 12,000 votes, and even if he won Georgia, it wouldn't change the outcome.
If I lost, I'd be a very gracious loser. If I lost, I would say I lost, and I'd go to Florida, and I'd take it easy, and I'd go around, and I'd say I did a good job.
Tonight's rally was supposed to be a campaign event for the crucial Senate runoffs next month that'll determine who controls the upper house. But both Republican candidates barely got a word in as President Trump demanded the results be overturned.
A friend of mine said, "Oh, don't worry about it, sir. You're way up in the polls. You'll win in 2024. I said, "I don't want to wait till 2024. I want to go back 3 weeks."
Even though President Trump is on the way out, he still holds a firm grip over his party. Just 27 Republican lawmakers here on Capitol Hill acknowledge that Joe Biden will be the next president. 220 are silent, while 2 believe Donald Trump won the election. But the president-elect is pushing on. He met with his transition team behind closed doors today and was seen attending church without his moon boot following last week's fracture. Joe Biden doing all the things a president is supposed to do as Trump continues to push a fantasy. Eamon Ashton-Atkinson for 10 News First, Washington.
After 6 years and 5 billion kilometres hurtling through space, a Japanese research capsule has ended its mission in the South Australian outback. It's brought back samples from a distant asteroid, which scientists hope will reveal some of our solar system's deepest secrets.
A streak of light over the desert, the end of a mission to illuminate our understanding of life.
But beautiful movie.
The capsule from the Japanese Hayabusa 2 satellite as it re-entered Earth's atmosphere before coming to ground near Kuba Pedy early this morning. The end of a 6-year round trip to asteroid Ryugu.
Hayabusa 2 has left the shade area.
Hayabusa 2 touched down on the asteroid in 2018, collecting dust samples before setting off on its return journey.
Very happy. I feel like jumping around, but on the other hand, I feel relieved, so I want to sit in a couch.
The huge Woomera prohibited area was selected by JAXA for safety reasons, and the cooperation is a boost for our new Australian space agency.
Congratulations, we're just proud to be doing a little bit to support your team.
Thank you for your help. It had to be Woomera.
The samples could help fill out scientists' understanding of the development of organic life and water in our solar system.
Learn about the building blocks of the world that we know, life as we know it, organic molecules that were present before life evolved on Earth.
The capsule was located and found shortly after touchdown. Alan Murrell for 10 News First.
Still to come, tributes for 2 fathers who drowned saving their children. Also, officers hit the high seas for a boat safety blitz ahead of the holidays. The Australian anthem like you've never heard it before, the inspiring treat for last night's Tri-Nations crowd. And why these clever canines are our secret weapon in the fight against COVID-19.
It's Graham Norton's
Holly Dolly Christmas.
Yay! Dolly Parton, Jamie Oliver, Amanda Seyfried, Stephen Fry, and Michael J. Fox.
I love you.
More Christmas stars than you can fit into Santa's sack.
I'm saying nothing.
7:30 tonight on 10.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Beat the heat this summer with Braemar Fresh Air Conditioning, saving up to 80% in running costs. Braemar, quietly providing year-round comfort to Australian families for over 80 years. Search Braemar.
This is an actual event. It could happen to anyone. Stephen Brown lawyers can tell you how much your claim is really worth. It's no win, no fee. Call 13-HURT.
Tried Hungry Jack's Flame Grilled Big Jack? Then meet the new Chicken Big Jack with 2 crispy chicken patties and special sauce. Big Jack beef or Big Jack chicken. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Shaver Shop Cyber Deal Sale. Save up to 80%. Save 60% on Oral-B Vitality Toothbrush. Philips 9-in-1 Multi-Grim Trimmer, only $46.50. And the Philips Heritage Shaver, save 45%. Shaver Shop Cyber Deal Sale, on now.
La, 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 la. La, 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 la.
At Coles, you can lower the cost of your weekly shop with thousands of specials across the store this week, like Fanta and Sprite 2-litre varieties for $1.95 and Coca-Cola 2-litre varieties for $2.15. Coles, value the Australian way.
Royal weddings are what fairy tales are made of.
She was a very beautiful young girl.
They were, in a way, trying to test her relationship.
But behind the glamour of the crown, what really goes on?
Suddenly she emerged looking like a queen. They said, OK. I'm the one with the power, I'm the one in control.
The Queen Mother used to refer to Prince Philip in quite disparaging terms.
Philip was almost sobbing at the thought of losing her.
Royal weddings, then and now, on 10.
The special event, 7:30 Wednesday.
There are tributes tonight for two men who drowned at Tiwa Beach on Queensland's Sunshine Coast yesterday. Denny Kabala and Richard Catbergen jumped into the water to save their three children who were caught in a rip, but then they ran into trouble. The children were saved, but both fathers drowned.
Yeah, the water was a bit rough yesterday. It was there was a fair bit of current running around and there was a bit of a swell and yeah, but it was, we were in close, so it was safe, so it was good.
Know your capabilities. Don't push the boundaries in a remote area like that.
Richard and Denny's deaths take the toll on Queensland's beaches this surf season to 7. The opposition is raising questions about the Prime Minister's decision to slam China over a doctored photo of an Australian soldier last week. Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong today cautioned the government to be careful with rhetoric. She also expressed her disappointment at lacking a relationship with her government counterpart.
A captain's call or a strategic move?
It's an absolute outrageous and disgusting slur.
The Shadow Foreign Minister hopeful.
He took advice and thought carefully.
Tonight, 10 News First can reveal Scott Morrison did seek advice before delivering his strongest rebuke to China yet. A spokesperson for the Prime Minister confirming he consulted and acted on advice from the Foreign Minister, who was herself fully briefed by her department.
It is a big call to go directly, escalate directly to the national leader.
But Maurice Payne's Labor counterpart is being kept out in the cold.
I do recall many occasions on which Ms Bishop, and we had a fair few, ding-dong battles, but she would call me and we would talk through how we might deal with particular issues.
And that doesn't happen now?
I regret that doesn't happen now.
Tensions with China have soured to a new low over the past 12 months, with no sign of improvement on the horizon. The federal government is scrambling to diversify Australian exports.
Our relationship with China is not in a good place at the moment, and it's in all of our interests to try and find a reset.
Victoria's controversial Belt and Road initiative could be on the chopping block now the Foreign Minister has the power to rip up agreements with countries deemed not in Australia's national interest. This is a policy federal Labor also opposes. Senator Penny Wong used a live television interview today to appeal to the Prime Minister to have a sensible discussion with the Victorian government.
I've got a good relationship with the Prime Minister. It doesn't mean we're sitting down 3 nights a week for a beer.
But that doesn't mean he's willing to give up ground on his relationship with Beijing. Stella Todorovic for 10 News First.
Canberra Raiders hooker Tom Starling is expected to fight charges of assaulting police following a brawl on the New South Wales Central Coast. The rising NRL star was allegedly one of 4 men involved in a scuffle outside a bar late last night.
A lot of people in our community are out there doing the right thing. If someone breaks the law, police will take action. It's as simple as that.
The incident has been reported to the NRL Integrity Unit. Starling and the other men allegedly involved will face court next month. Some new weapons could soon be deployed to detect COVID-19 in Australia, and they have 4 legs. Sniffer dogs are being trained to detect traces of the virus even before symptoms are present. Researchers say the dogs have an extremely high rate of detection and would provide a low-cost screening method to support other testing measures.
It's an A+ for this clever canine who manages to correctly identify a COVID-positive test sample. Yes! 14 Australian COVID sniffer dogs are currently being trained by researchers at the University of Adelaide in a partnership with the Australian Border Force's Sniffer Dog program in Victoria. The dogs have learnt to detect specific odours that the human body produces in response to viral infections.
And now they're actually able to discriminate between people who've got it and people who don't have it.
The aim is to use the dogs in airports, hospitals and hotels where quick test results are needed most.
People working in a high-risk area, such as in hospital or in aged care facility, could be checked. We cannot check everyone on a daily basis. With dogs, we could.
And while the dogs wouldn't replace traditional testing methods, the Victorian Health Minister says he'd welcome an additional safeguarding process.
But if there's a dog that can sweep through thousands of people and pick up COVID potentially, then that's terrific.
Researchers will be submitting some final test results to the Australian Border Force in coming weeks, which will determine if and when the dogs are used. But those researchers say they're confident the results will speak for themselves.
I think it's very, very exciting because that means that we produced a very fast and reliable test because the dogs are very sensitive to detect COVID-19.
Alexandra Keefe for 10 News First.
Let's take a look at the weather now with Amanda Jason. Amanda, it's been a little cool for a summer weekend.
It certainly has been, Chris. Temperatures today were around 4 degrees below average for this time of year, but that is all set to change in the week ahead. Today, temperatures reaching 25 degrees, overnight dipping down to 13 degrees. The temperature at the moment is sitting at 22. We're in a southwesterly wind and humidity is at 55%. Elsewhere across the state, though, it wasn't cool everywhere. Exmouth got to 44 degrees today. We made it to 33 in Kununurra, 36 in Broome, and 29 degrees in Kalgoorlie. Now, we have a low pressure trough through the north of the state, coupled with a tropical unstable air mass. So we're seeing a lot of showers and thunderstorms here. It is dry through the south of the state at the moment, but I'll have full details of what's ahead a little later in the bulletin.
See you then. Thanks, Amanda. Up next, Brexit negotiations stall 3 weeks from the deadline. Also, fire and fury as violence flares on the streets of Paris. Plus, 100 years of history goes up in flames in New York. And a real-life Spider-Man scaling high-rises without a safety harness in sight.
The most elusive.
He's got the means and the muscle to avoid capture.
The most dangerous.
We have to consider him capable of anything. Agent LaCroix.
Aussie Julian McMahon.
I'm on my way.
New FBI Most Wanted, 8:30 tonight on 10.
At Telstra, our 7-day price match on a range of phones. Using Telstra Plus points and trading in selected phones can help make gifting more affordable.
At Coles, we're helping lower the cost of easy desserts with a Coles Classic Pavlova. Down to just $5.70. Perfect with Coles Aussie Thickened Cream, just $3. Coles, value the Australian way.
Want plumper, younger-looking skin? Try new Olay Retinol 24 from Chemist Warehouse. Its gentler bioavailable retinoid resurfaces skin with 24-hour hydration. Olay Retinol Night Moisturiser is $29.99. Live, look, feel fabulous at Chemist Warehouse.
Enjoy more family time this summer. Take the night off with Hungry Jack's Family Bundle. 2 Whoppers, 2 cheeseburgers, 4 small chips, 4 drinks, 10 nuggets and sauce, only $24.95 at Hungry Jack's.
Sometimes, even the best tenants can cause damage to your investment property that standard building insurance may not cover. Terry Shear, Australia's leading landlord insurance specialist, provides the cover you need for your property and rental income. Have confidence that your investment property is in safe hands.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
Call Terry Shear or go online.
Hit the road in the Isuzu MU-X with 3-ton towing from just $46,990 drive away. Plus, get a free towing pack across the 4x4 range.
Introducing Google Nest Audio, but to someone who likes to work out hard.
Hey Google, play my workout playlist.
It's the workout intensifier. And this is Chromecast with Google TV. But to someone who doesn't know what to watch.
What should I watch?
It's the content curator. And this is Google Nest Hub Max, but to someone who likes to watch cooking while cooking.
Hey Google, play Chef's Table on Netflix.
It's the cooking companion. Whole home entertainment with Google.
Enjoy an Aussie Christmas at Anaconda. Salomon Daytree Gore-Tex Adult Mid Hikers now $119, save $150. 30% off all clothing by Columbia, Mountain Designs, Marmot and more big brands. Head in store or shop online at anacondastores.com. Anaconda!
More Australian pet owners and their dogs love NexGard Spectra. The most complete parasite protection in one tasty tube. NexGard.
Christmas Made Fun catalogue sale on now at Super Cheap Auto. Club Plus members save every day on the new range of XTM 4x4 accessories in store now. Plus these Castrol Magnatech 5 litre engine oils half price.
A cunning art thief and a brilliant antiques expert. Together, they must take down a ruthless terrorist. Hold on tight for summer's biggest adventure. Love and Treasure, 9:30 tonight on 10.
On the next Studio 10, George Clooney.
Is anyone out there?
From outer space to daddy daycare.
I felt like my mother in 1964.
Plus dating do's and don'ts for the over 60s. The tried and tested tricks that prove it's never too late for love.
Tomorrow on Studio 10.
Nearly 100 rallies have been held across France this weekend, protesting against controversial new laws that restrict the filming of police and also restrict posting images of them online. In Paris, a peaceful march quickly descended into violence.
The City of Light glows orange as burning cars line the streets. For a second consecutive weekend, a civil march through the streets of Paris soon unravelled into chaos. Demonstrators furious over draft laws making it illegal for individuals and media to publish identifying photos or videos of police. Defiant crowds set off smoke bombs and flares as objects littered in the streets created barricades of fire, while police used tear gas to try and bring things under control, only increasing tensions and, in turn, the injury toll. Dozens of shop windows were smashed and even banks were targeted, leading to more than 60 arrests and 8 officers injured. President Emmanuel Macron argues the bill protects law enforcement from online threats. But a shocking video of 4 French officers beating a black music producer last month has prompted calls for the laws to be scrapped, so acts of police brutality can't go unnoticed. The government has pledged a partial rewrite of the legislation, but that's done little to satisfy these Parisians committed to fighting what they see as an attack on their freedom. Taylor Ryan for 10 News First.
Britain and the European Union are still divided on Brexit negotiations, with serious differences persisting on critical issues. The sticking points are fishing rights, competition rules and how a Brexit deal will be enforced. It's hoped they can be resolved soon. Both sides have agreed to step up negotiations later tonight. The UK left the EU at the end of January, but has since been in a transition period that ends in just over 3 weeks. A 120-year-old church has burnt down in New York City. The Middle Collegiate Church in the East Village is home to the famous Liberty Bell. It caught fire in the early hours of the morning after flames spread from an unoccupied building next door. 4 firefighters were injured as they battled the blaze. It's believed the Liberty Bell, which rang out to mark American independence in 1776, survived the fire. One of the most famous Christmas trees in the world has been lit up outside the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem. But the birthplace of Jesus is struggling with COVID-19 restrictions, leaving residents anticipating a dismal festive season.
This year is different because there is no spirit of the Christmas. You can't see anyone here. Every year there was almost like 5,000 people here, and today there is almost like 50 or 100.
In stark contrast, this time last year, Bethlehem was experiencing its busiest Christmas to date. How's this for a Spider-Man? George King has managed to climb a 33-storey tower in Barcelona without ropes or safety equipment. The 21-year-old says he wanted to spread some Christmas cheer. He planned to scale the Agbar Tower in a Santa costume, but decided at the last minute it would be safer without it. This isn't the first time George has reached great heights. In July last year, he climbed London's Shard and spent 3 months in jail for his achievement. Still to come, Ros Kelly with all the day sport and that wonderful moment at the rugby. Also, a stern warning for skippers this summer as police crack down on bad boaties. And the very big problem facing Aussie pets.
We've got tips and tricks to make this Christmas one to remember.
We have the perfect recipe, guaranteed to be moist and tender.
Christmas isn't complete without crackling.
That's going to go on the top of our tree, isn't it?
Oh, it looks incredible.
Christmas with the Australian Women's Weekly, 7:30 Thursday on 10.
Here, Dad, we all chipped in.
Thought it was time. Oh, great. How does it clip on?
This year, our 7-day price match on a huge range of phones can help make gifting more affordable.
Save Santa from disappointment. Get his favourite cookies in the whole wide world. Only $1 at Subway.
We're shaking things up, WA. With Containers for Change, you get 10 cents for every eligible drink container at your local refund point. To find out where to cash in, visit containersforchange.com.au.
Just one look at you.
Choose one of 2 limited edition bangles as your free gift when you spend $150 on Pandora jewellery. Available for a limited time only while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Remember applying for your first home loan? Well, you're a lot smarter now. And now there's a smarter loan online with an excellent low rate plus no application or ongoing fees. Apply online with TikTok Home Loans.
More Australian pet owners and their dogs love NexGard Spectra. The most complete parasite protection in one tasty tube. NexGard.
This Christmas, pick up Lindt Lindor pouches, 80 to 125 grams. Perfect for sharing or gifting. Now just $6 each. Helping you share the spirit of Christmas. Woolworths.
There's a place for us. Somewhere a place for us. Peace and quiet and open air. Wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other.
Celebrate the holidays with C. Giorgio Armani.
Discover your signature scent.
I am my store.
It's Graham Norton's
Holly Dolly Christmas.
Dolly Parton has saved Christmas 2020.
tonight on a brand new Norton.
Police are warning boaties they'll be cracking down on water safety this summer, and there are fears they'll be busier than ever. Border closures and travel bans have led to an increase in people applying for boat licences and buying jet skis as they plan to spend their holidays on local waterways.
All hands on deck for a 2-day blitz on boaties.
This is the very first type of maritime operation using all New South Wales Police maritime assets across the state.
They've been out in force all weekend for what's been dubbed Operation Armada, in preparation for what's expected to be an unprecedented summer on our waterways, as border closures and international travel bans force families to holiday locally.
There has been an increase on water activities across the state. Licence applications are up. The purchase of stand-up paddle boards, jet skis. You can't buy jet skis until October next year.
Police fear that will lead to an increase in reckless and dangerous behaviour, unless they can stamp it out.
Crackdown on hoon behaviour, random breath testing, drug testing to provide a safer community for everyone to use going into this summer season.
Just like on the roads, these officers are on the lookout for any suspicious or dangerous behaviour on the water, but they're also pulling boats over at random to do safety checks and check the skippers are sober. And in this case, this boat is free to go. Since yesterday morning, they've done more than 800 breath tests and 120 drug tests. Around 60 people have been fined, mostly for speeding and carrying the wrong safety equipment. And while this operation ends tonight, boaties can expect to see plenty of cops on the water throughout the summer period. Leah Harris for 10 News First.
Giving a dog a bone is more dangerous than you think. A recent study has revealed more than half of Australia's pets are overweight, predisposing them to conditions such as heart disease and arthritis. And with the pandemic forcing everyone to spend more time at home, the temptation for pet owners to overfeed is stronger than ever.
For a cat as cute as Queenie, it's hard to resist giving her the royal treatment. But tipping the scales at 6.6 kilograms, the British Shorthair is overweight, so her loved ones need to manage her love of food.
Her favourite sleeping spot is outside the fridge because she's just forever waiting for her next meal.
It's a common problem. According to a recent Royal Canin study, 59% of cats and 54% of dogs are considered overweight.
It's very concerning because an overweight pet is prone to a number of health conditions, just like us humans. So things like diabetes, heart disease and arthritis.
So why are Aussie pets packing on the pounds? Apparently, too much TLC.
It's pretty easy. We're very attached to our pets and we know that people like to make their pets happy. So you see those really cute faces and you want to give them a treat.
Plus, with everyone spending more time at home, avoiding overfeeding is only getting harder.
It's actually been a lot worse since I've been working from home because we're together all day, every day. It's just me and her, and she seems to forever be begging for food.
The first step with a portly pooch is getting them out of the house. Vets recommend most dogs are exercised a few times a day, keeping them active and away from temptation.
Other tips include any treats when calculating an animal's daily calorie intake and feed them the recommended portion for the weight they should be, not the weight they are. But as always,
most important thing, if you think your pet's overweight, is chat to your vet first.
As for Queenie, she's lost 200 grams so far on her tailor-made diet.
Portion controlled, we're weighing her food and feeding her less and, trying to minimise treats.
Keeping her fighting fit for the rest of her 9 lives. Amber Caneen for 10 News First.
Poor old Queenie, after COVID, I'm feeling her pain.
Well, it's been a tough year. We're all eating our feelings.
It is. Now, in sport, Australia's lost 3 key players.
Yeah, bad news for Australia, Barthy. Mitchell Starc, he has withdrawn from the 2020 series, while injuries have paved the way for some West Australians to make a return. Details next. Plus, Test hopefuls push for selection with Australia A, who's put their hand up for a baggy green. A Manchester United star goes big in the Premier League. And what a difference getting behind the wheel of a Mercedes makes. Lewis Hamilton's young replacement leaves everyone eating his dust.
On Jan 3, I'm a Celebrity is going to the most dangerous place on the planet.
It's Australia, Julia.
21 of the world's 25 deadliest snakes. Bird-eating spiders, snake-eating frogs, crocodile-eating snakes.
That's not a list. This is a list.
There's no place like home.
If the celebrities think surviving Australia will be easy, tell them they're dreaming.
Your dad wants me to download a playlist. Oh, no. Nah, it'll take ages.
Not on 5G.
So many things that I can't touch I'm all out of faith.
You and me, Darren.
This is how I feel.
Your iPhone 12 Pro deserves Australia's best 5G.
Dreaming of an Audi Q? Enjoy complimentary registration, stamp duty, CTP, 5 years, 75,000 kilometre scheduled servicing and a 5-year manufacturer's warranty on select models. At the Audi Q sales event now.
At Seagulls Outdoor Furniture, sale prices are now on. The Newport Sofa Dining crazy price, $9.99. Granada 5-chair and bench, $11.99. Marseille Sofa Dining, $14.99. Pacific Modular Dining, the best, $17.99. Boston Sofa Dining, only $9.99. Visit any of our 4 huge showrooms to see our massive range. At Seagulls Outdoor Furniture, we will never be beaten on price.
When it comes to medical care, you want the best for you and your family. This is Médecins Sans Frontières. We strive to provide the best quality healthcare and vital medical assistance for people who need it most. Donate now.
Australians know that sun exposure can lead to skin cancer. But did you know it can also cause wrinkles, pigmentation and age spots? As UVA rays are present all year round, you should wear sun protection every day. Anthelios Invisible Fluid is a lightweight everyday sunscreen that's dermatologically tested on sensitive skin. That's why it's the #1 facial sunscreen brand in Australian pharmacies. You'll find La Roche-Posay Anthelios for a great price at Chemist Warehouse.
To create our beards, we rely on the best ingredients and tools.
Same goes for our beards. The power of this wall trimmer allows that. Lithium-ion power in a trimmer, that's insane.
When it's in my hand cutting, I know I'm using the best that's out there.
Available only at Shaver Shop.
Enjoy an Aussie Christmas at Anaconda. Salomon Daytree Gore-Tex Adult Mid Hikers now $119, save $150. 30% off all clothing by Columbia, Mountain Designs, Marmot and more big brands. Head in store or shop online at anacondastores.com. Anaconda!
With crispy salmon Wellington and garlic butter lobster tails. You can go full Christmas for less at Aldi.
He's Australia's favourite adventurer.
G'day, I'm Russell Coit and this is my backyard. Let's go. Come back here.
Russell Coit's All Aussie Adventures. Monday on 10.
Good evening. Mitchell Starc has withdrawn from the 2020 series against India due to family reasons, while Aaron Finch is out with a glute injury. Marcus Stoinis returns to the side, while fellow West Australian Andrew Tye has been included for the first time in 2 years. One up in the series, India chose to bowl first, but they weren't counting on an attack from skipper Matthew Wade. Leading the 2020 side for the first time, Wade opened the batting with supreme confidence. Making the most of a chance on 39, he went on to bring up his half-century, which included 10 fours and 1 6. But his night ended over a mix-up in the middle.
Nicely done. No, it's not! Juggled 3 times. The captain should be a run out. There is. It's horrible out in the middle. In the end, Wade will have to depart. By gee, it was a drop catch that Wade couldn't believe. The second Virat's drop to the series, and then he gets run out. Calamity of errors.
Glenn Maxwell doing his bit to lift the run rate before departing for 22. The Aussies aiming to square the series after going down in Game 1. And earlier today, the battle for Test selection kicked off on day 1 of the tour match between Australia A and India A. 21-year-old WA quick Cameron Green among several fast bowlers the Australian selectors were keeping a close eye on.
A tour match with more to play for than just practice ahead of the Test series against India, and Michael Neser struck with his first ball.
And there it is. Is that the first wicket of the match? It is.
A pair of ducks to the openers, not an ideal start for India A.
Nice, really nice.
All eyes on Cameron Green, who was economical in the first innings, none for 4 off 4 overs, including 2 maidens before lunch. Pujara looking dangerous for the visitors.
Lovely shot, bit of a flourish from Pujara.
He reached a half-century before Pattinson had his second wicket.
Got him, out. marked that man Marcus Harris at leg slip.
India A 6 for 128 at tee. Chairman of selectors Trevor Hones watching on, Rahane digging in after the break.
It's in the air for a moment, had people a little bit interested before it got through.
A scare for Kuldeep Yadav ahead of the Test series. The left arm wrist spinner struck on his bowling hand by Mark Steckety.
The crucial left glove of Kuldeep Yadav, and he's in a bit of pain.
Yadav receiving some attention before pressing on. Travis Head seeing his stay didn't last long.
He's gone. Travis Head gets his second wicket.
A captain's innings rewarded with a century.
All class, Ajinkya Rahane, the captain of India, pushes into the covers, picks up 2 and passes 3 figures.
Rebecca Perry for 10 News First.
The Wallabies have finished on the bottom of the Tri-Nations ladder after a 16-all draw with Argentina in the final game of the tournament. The result came down to the final play of the game, and once again, Australia came up short.
The Wallabies were on song before kick-off, with one verse of the national anthem performed in the Indigenous Eora language.
We were practicing it during the week. And our guys were, it was never a question, we were very proud to have that opportunity to do it, and I think it sounded pretty good too.
But the game ended on a sour note. For the third time this year, Reece Hodge fluffed his final lines.
It would have been nice if he'd been able to convert that, but it is what it is.
Hodge's missed penalty goal left Australia with 1 win from 6 tests in 2020 and incredibly a third draw.
God, what was a draw paying today? $1.50 maybe.
Argentina heads home with a victory over both Australia and New Zealand, plus the 2 draws, but it could have been even better.
And there's the first try!
As much as I thought the other one, if we won it, it would have been unfair. I think we deserved this one.
The Aussies looked like stealing it when Michael Hooper's 20th Test try levelled it at 16-all.
He got it down!
But the long hand of the law played its part in the result. Lukan Salakaia-Lotto was red-carded for a high shot, and Hooper found himself in the sin bin for a dangerous clean-out.
I figure if I hit him in the head, he probably shouldn't have come back on, because if I hit him that hard and it was contact to the head, it's probably not passing HIA.
Christian Jansen for 10 News First.
Chelsea's on top of the Premier League and favourites on current form. And Olivier Giroud can't stop scoring, taking his personal tally to 5 goals in 3 days. Manchester United beat West Ham 3-1 with Paul Pogba stealing the show.
And no goalkeeper in the world is saving that.
And Manchester City is up to 5th on the ladder thanks to a 2-0 victory over Fulham. Australian motor racing legend John Harvey has passed away. The Australian Motorsport Hall of Fame member died after a very short battle with lung cancer. His glittering racing career began in Speedway in the 1950s before switching to road racing. He was a key cog in Bob Jane's racing operation through the 60s, but was best remembered for his victory at the 1983 Bathurst 1000 alongside Peter Brock and Larry Perkins. Harvey was 82. If you ever needed proof of the power of Mercedes in Formula One, well, this is it. Brit George Russell is no slouch as a regular driver with Williams, but this weekend has the silver bullet underneath him as a stand-in driver for Lewis Hamilton, who's out after a positive COVID test. The 22-year-old finished agonisingly close to his first pole for the Sakhir Grand Prix, 20 milliseconds off teammate Valtteri Bottas.
It's been incredibly intense, so much to learn, getting used to the car, the seat, everything. It's just so different. It felt really alien to begin with, trying to unlearn what I learned at Williams and relearn how to drive this car fast.
Aussie Daniel Ricciardo qualified 7th fastest, but admits he's confused by his Renault, with the car faster in practice than in qualifying. WA youngster Caden Manders has claimed his maiden victory at the sprint cars. In a neck-and-neck race, plenty of others' hopes went up in smoke. Manders edging out fellow young gun Dane Kingshot to take the checkered flag. And in the John Day Speed Car Classic, a 6th-row grid start was no obstacle for Tom Payet, the number 7 winning by a country mile and claiming his 4th consecutive victory. Well, you have to have ice in your veins to compete in the Rally Monza, a chilling circuit in the foothills of the Italian Alps. Championship leader Elfyn Evans' title hopes came crashing down when he slid off a steep bank, which is where he stayed for the rest of the day, and his rivals were no better.
You okay? You okay?
There's not a snowball's chance in hell many people would tackle that one, so the Monza Maniacs can cosy up with our play of the day. Snow, you love those terrible puns, so plenty more coming up after 6.
Great, looking forward to that. Coming up next, Amanda Jason has all the weather details for the week ahead.
Royal weddings are what fairy tales are made of. There was still suspicion around Prince Philip. But behind the glamour of the crown, what really goes on?
Philip was almost sobbing at the thought of losing her.
Royal weddings then and now. Wednesday on 10.
Bring on the surprises they'll never see coming this Christmas with 20 to 40% off toys. Big W, every day's a big day.
For tough cleaning jobs, try CLR. CLR easily dissolves built-up calcium, limescale and rust. Soak your shower head in CLR to get it running like new. For crystal clear shower screens, apply, wait 2 minutes, then wipe stains away. CLR is antibacterial, killing germs as it cleans kettles, dishwashers and washing machines. It's great for tough outside cleaning jobs like outdoor taps, bricks, PVC drain pipes, pool fences, driveways and barbecues. There's clean and then there's CLR Clean.
Meet the revolutionary Sleeping Duck mattress taking Australia by storm. It's the next generation mattress reimagined by aerospace engineers, making history. Choices best overall mattress 2 years in a row. That's Sleeping Duck. One giant leap for your sleep.
Ready to go? Reignite your sense of adventure with the 7-seat Isuzu MU-X. With outstanding 3-ton towing from just $46,990 drive away. Plus, get a free towing pack across the 4x4 range. Now's the time to hit the road.
The world needs more cooks, because with a hot pan and a little love pack, a cook can tame the wild, feed the hungry, and transform nothing into everything. Where there are cooks, there is hope.
Bring on the gifts they deserve more than ever with hundreds of new toys from brands like Lego, Barbie and Paw Patrol. Big W, every day's a big day.
Sure, to anyone else, this is just a car. But to the Johnsons, this is their adventure machine. The perfect companion to their 6-star hotel on wheels and their fishing Voyager. At RAC Insurance, we see what you see because we're local too. Get local insurance plus great member benefits. That's the power of membership. RAC Insurance. For the better.
Dress it up. Dress it down. Dress it in dressing. Dress it however you want. Made with 100% Aussie beef, these beef burgers are now down to $4.99 for a 4-pack. Aldi. Good. Different.
Bring on Christmas. You can shop safely in-store and online with contactless pickup and home delivery. Big W, every day's a big day.
Good evening. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. The week ahead is looking pretty hot across Perth with thunderstorms on the cards as well. Now on the satellite image at the moment we can see a large area of cloud across the northwest of the state. This is all associated with a low pressure trough and a tropical air mass that's bringing a lot of instability. We could see a tropical low forming up as early as Thursday. Meanwhile, a low pressure trough will develop down the west coast. This is going to help to draw some heat down the west coast, driving up those temperatures. And we are going to see a few days looking particularly warm down the west coast in the days to come. In the way of rain tomorrow, we will see that rain staying confined to the north of the state with thunderstorms as well. But as the week progresses, we will see that rainfall moving a little further southward in the coming days. Elsewhere across the country, tomorrow we'll see thunderstorms in Brisbane with a top of 34 degrees. It will be sunny in Sydney with a top of 30. Canberra will be partly cloudy with a top of 19 degrees. We'll see showers and a cool day ahead for Melbourne with a top of 18, just 17 degrees on the way for Hobart. Showers and just 19 degrees in Adelaide. Very different to what we will be experiencing across the state over the coming days. Hot temperatures down the west coast, so Geraldton getting to a top of 38 degrees tomorrow. We'll get to 35 in Port Hedland. Storms on the way across the Kimberley, northern parts of the Pilbara and interior, and the remainder of the state then will remain dry. Kalgoorlie hitting a top of 31 degrees. Esperance a little cooler here, 22 and partly cloudy. Albany will remain partly cloudy with a top of 20 degrees. On the waters tomorrow, the winds will be east-south-easterly, but they will be turning southwesterly. That's a little error there. That should be saying 20 knots, getting to 25 knots later in the afternoon. The seas will be to 2 metres, and the sea temperature tomorrow will be 20 degrees with sunrise at 5:02 a.m. Northam tomorrow hitting a top of 35 degrees. We'll get to 25 in Rottnest Island. Jandakot getting to 33, 31 in Dwellingup. And for Perth tomorrow, it will be sunny skies right throughout the day with tops of 33 degrees. Early in the morning about the hills, we could see some pretty strong winds with gusts up to 60 or even 70 kilometres per hour, but that should ease off throughout the day. And then looking further ahead, temperatures really warm up on Tuesday. We'll see a top of 39 degrees on Tuesday, and we will be seeing thunderstorms. Although there is the chance of us seeing little to no rain, it really just depends on how much moisture gets into those storms. On Wednesday, possible thunderstorms again with tops of 33 degrees, so still feeling quite warm. 32 on Thursday. There is the chance of the rain ramping up a little bit on Thursday as a bit more moisture starts heading further south throughout the state. On Friday, a top of 33 degrees, and then we'll finally see those temperatures cooling down a little into the weekend, but looking like a pretty hot week ahead.
More now on today's top stories. The Premier refuses to confirm whether WA's reopening will go ahead as planned after 2 international arrivals miss hotel quarantine in Sydney and flight to Melbourne. The $1.8 billion plan for a new WA maternity hospital to replace the ageing facilities at King Eddie's. And a tragic end to a charity ride on the Mitchell Freeway with one rider killed and another fighting for life in hospital. Police are calling for witnesses to the crash, which happened around 9:30 this morning.
What started as a fundraiser for struggling families ended in tragedy.
There was just a motorbike, like I say, in the motorbike in the centre of the freeway down on the ground and smoke pouring out from it, just fire on fire, you know.
A 3-motorcycle pile-up on the Mitchell Freeway. A 37-year-old woman pronounced dead at the scene. 3 other riders rushed to hospital. It happened around 9:30 this morning. It's believed the female rider crashed into a freeway barrier. 2 other bikes caught up in the carnage.
You're doing something for a good cause and then this happens, it's tragic for everyone. And also my heart goes out to the family that have lost a loved one as well, you know. It's tragic, you know.
The riders were part of the Perth Bikers charity ride, raising donations of cash, toys and food for the Salvation Army Christmas Appeal, the event celebrating its 45th year. Thousands of bikers travelling from Optus Stadium to HBF Arena in Joondalup before disaster struck.
It's a family of people that all working for the same thing, and then to find out that one person, even if you don't know them personally, but it's part of the group of, this whole family of people that are doing this, and that one person goes down and everybody feels it.
Detectives closed the freeway northbound for more than 4 hours as they cleared the wreckage. Police calling for any witnesses to this tragic crash to come forward. Brendan Crew for 10 News First.
WA's scheduled reopening to Victoria and New South Wales is in limbo tonight after another virus scare on the east coast. It's been revealed 2 German travellers skipped quarantine in Sydney and caught a flight to Melbourne, forcing nearly 200 people into isolation.
Police keep a watchful eye at Sydney Airport as international arrivals are packed off to mandatory hotel quarantine. But in this same spot yesterday, a blunder, as officers allowed 2 travellers to skip quarantine altogether and instead board a flight to Melbourne.
Something's gone wrong in New South Wales. Let's get to the bottom of that.
The woman and her 15-year-old son flew in from Germany, where yesterday alone there were more than 23,000 new COVID cases.
There's been a misunderstanding and a lack of communication, and it was thought by the police officer that there was actually an exemption in place. And those people then were then taken to the domestic airport.
They were allowed to board Virgin Flight 838 to Melbourne, a packed plane with 176 passengers and crew, all now in mandatory isolation, while rapid COVID tests on the travellers have come back negative.
We'll get another set of test results tomorrow. Hopefully they're negative again, and then those 170 plus people who are currently at home, they'll be able to be released.
The pair only caught when a Melbourne airport security guard became suspicious.
And we're very grateful for that employee doing a quite amazing job.
It's the second coronavirus scare from the East Coast in less than a week. The Premier today refusing to confirm if WA's border reopening is still on track for Tuesday.
The good thing is we've always taken a very precautionary and very cautious approach. But New South Wales currently has no community spread of the virus. We'll wait till tomorrow to see all of the testing results out of New South Wales.
As West Australians eagerly await a decision on quarantine-free travel, the Safe WA app is helping to bolster our state's tracing protocols. More than 625,000 West Aussies have downloaded the Safe WA app so far, and last night it was put to the test. But as thousands of people headed to pubs and bars, it crashed.
I'm advised there was a 15-minute outage in relation to the system. There was some problem with SMSs being sent.
It's understood the company behind the app ran out of cash to send users a confirmation text.
I think it's a bit interesting that the government hasn't really nailed that down yet. We think there's a smarter way to have done that.
Patrons were still required to check in on paper-based systems.
I'm sure we'll do our best to stop it happening in the future.
Steph Baumgartel for 10 News First.
Victoria is welcoming more relaxed COVID restrictions as the state aims for a COVID normal summer. Up to 30 people will be allowed to gather inside a home at one time, while masks no longer need to be worn in many public settings. People will still need to wear a mask, though, on public transport, in ride shares and taxis, and in shopping centres and supermarkets. The Liberal Party has promised to ease the burden of payroll tax for thousands of small businesses if elected next year. The commitment would mean all businesses with payrolls of up to $1.5 million wouldn't pay the tax. Currently, the threshold is $1 million.
We're also introducing an exciting rebate policy whereby businesses with more than $1.5 million in payroll, right through to $3 million in payroll, will get rebated.
The tax relief plan would affect around 5,500 WA businesses. The state government has promised to build a new hospital for women and babies to replace services at the ageing King Edward Memorial Hospital. A budget surplus has made the plan possible, with $1.8 billion set aside for the build.
Just hours old.
This is our little Bailey.
Bailey. That's early last night?
Yeah, last night.
Did you sleep at all last night?
Not really.
Born into a historic hospital that stood in Subiaco for more than a century. These newborns among the 6,000 babies who start their lives at King Edward Memorial Hospital each year. But after 104 years, it's time for a fresh start.
Everyone of the clinical teams right across the system acknowledges that this is a hospital which is in badly need of replacement. The very fabric of these buildings are really starting to creak.
The state government's announced it'll start building a new $1.8 billion maternity hospital in 2023. And like King Eddie's, it'll specialise in looking after the most complex patients in the state. The Premier proud to say a budget surplus has ensured the funds are already set aside.
We are not wasting our good fortune. We're not frittering it away. We're putting it towards something that is so meaningful and so important for the future.
A potential site earmarked next to Sir Charles Gardner's emergency department.
There's access to care for adults and also for our neonates to be able to have closer access to PCH is really contemporary for us and what we're looking for.
The government determined to avoid the same mistakes that delayed the opening of Perth Children's Hospital.
And we're very determined to get the water right. So very determined to get the water right. We don't want any issues with the water.
For us, we'll continue to match that and make sure that we can, regardless of what happens at the election, that hospital will be delivered.
Amelia Simpson for 10 News First.
The Pfizer vaccine has landed in the UK, ready for rollout from Tuesday. While normal life is some way off, technology is leaping ahead to try and bring back what people miss the most. Here's Europe correspondent Phoebe Bowden.
It can be hard to embrace the challenges of a pandemic. 97-year-old Colette Dupar misses hugging her daughters, but each day there is new hope to hold on to. These nurses will start giving Brits the Pfizer COVID-19 jab from Tuesday. The development and rollout of this vaccine is faster than anything that's been done before.
And I'm going to be giving you the vaccination.
800,000 doses have been sent from Belgium, with 39 million more to be delivered. Britain won't be taking any chances with those, with the military ready to step in if there are supply issues, including a border breakdown when Brexit hits full force later this month. But even then, challenges abound, including getting enough vaccine doses.
It will be some time before the vaccine is rolled out to everyone who wants it here in Britain. The first to get the jab will be the elderly, then healthcare workers and the vulnerable.
Life as we all knew it is certainly a way off. A UK tech company is hoping to get the country there sooner with the creation of a COVID passport.
Ours is a test and vaccine passport. It's also got the test and trace built in. We've created this V code here, which you can see on my screen. So the V code is a 2D barcode which is centralised, so it can't be hacked.
The passport could be used for schools, offices, travel, bars, cafes, sports games, all those things that have been missing from 2020. Phoebe Bowden for 10 News First, London.
Donald Trump has held his first rally since losing last month's election, spending almost the entire time insisting he won. Billed as a victory rally, it was meant to be an event to promote two Republican candidates for next month's congressional runoff elections. Instead, Trump attacked officials, the election result, and even said he wanted another election.
A friend of mine said, "Oh, don't worry about it, sir. You're way up in the polls. You'll win in 2024. I said, I don't want to wait till 2024. I want to go back 3 weeks.
President-elect Joe Biden spent the day meeting with his transition team and attending church. Japanese scientists have successfully recovered a space capsule which touched down in the remote South Australian outback. The Hayabusa 2 lit up the sky over Cooper Pedy as it re-entered Earth's atmosphere after a 6-year round trip to asteroid Ryugu. The Woomera prohibited area was chosen for the landing for safety reasons.
Very happy. I feel like jumping around, but on the other hand, I feel relieved, so I want to sit in a couch.
The capsule is carrying the first ever samples returned to Earth from under the surface of an asteroid. They could give insights into the development of life in our solar system. Coming up next, 60 years on, a piece of Qantas history is rescued from a cow paddock. And in sport, the look on Reece Hodges' face sums up the Wallabies Tri-Nations campaign.
A Brownlow winner is going into the Aussie jungle. But keep it on the down low.
I think we all know who this is going to be.
Yes, we do.
When it comes to super, long-term performance matters. Host Plus has been recognised for 15 years of platinum performance. So whatever plans you had, your future's still waiting for you. Host Plus, we go with you.
Christmas is a really magical time of year.
Matador Portable Barbecue, only $119. Barbecue tool set, just $13.15.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%. Bring home a little magic this Christmas.
Jenny suffers from FOMOD. Todd has FOMOD too. Fear of missing out on Domino's deals can affect anyone, but there is a cure. Download the Domino's app to get a new deal every day, plus a free large pizza with your next delivery order. Bring it in.
Spread a little joy this Christmas with Ryobi. One battery powers over 100 tools, so you'll find gifts for any size project and any size budget. 1 + U equals a little joy this Christmas. Dual driver kit, $99, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
It feels like Christmas just
like years ago. All sleigh bells near ringing, it feels like Christmas time is almost here.
Feels like change is never going to come. I say that when enough of us believe real change is possible, it's already begun.
Patients are being treated from thousands of kilometres away.
DNA has been extracted from our ocean to protect threatened coral ecosystems.
Satellites are being launched that you can hold in the palm of your hand. John Curtin believed that true change begins with education. So if you're ready for change, we're ready for you. Change is here. Curtin University.
Who will you make happy today?
La Vie est Belle, the iconic fragrance. Lancôme.
Discover your signature scent.
I am my store.
Bold choice.
Yeah. Bold taste.
Fanta, bold choice, bold taste.
You don't have to spend a lot to bring a little bit of magic home.
Cylinder pot, only $16.98. Fruit salad plant, just $9.99.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Bring home a little magic this Christmas.
This is on the telly. Mummy! There's a delicious way to lower your cholesterol, so you can keep one eye on your heart health and the other on the things you love.
Hi, sweetheart.
Start your day with Sultana Brand Plus with cholesterol-lowering plant sterols.
After years being left to rust, historic Qantas infrastructure has been rescued from a cow paddock. Back in the 1950s, our national airline was about to enter the age of jet travel, but realised getting passengers on and off the new aircraft was a problem. And so Airstairs were born.
In its day, the Super Constellation was the ultimate in air travel.
Yes, this is the way to travel. Hungry? Just place your order.
Demand for this level of luxury was high.
Attracted by the beauty and comfort, the speed and reliability of the Super Constellation, the world airplane.
But Connie, as she was nicknamed, was already on the way out. Jet aircraft were rolling off world production lines, and getting passengers on and off safely and quickly was a priority. The powered Airstair was born, invented by Qantas engineer George Roberts, with two rare early versions recently discovered rusting away on farms in New South Wales and Queensland.
They sat in his paddock for the last 25 years.
Two have been restored by Hastings Deering in Rockhampton. It's the same company which built the first Airstair more than 60 years ago.
A normal day for us entails working on large mining equipment such as dozers, but these were quite out of the ordinary for us to take on, and it was a real pleasure.
The restored Airstairs are already a feature at the Qantas Founders Museum at Longreach, in time for the airline's COVID-delayed centenary celebrations in 2021.
That's been put on hold a little bit, but we are so thrilled to be able to have these fully finished when we start to celebrate the centenary, just a little bit late.
Tim Collins for 10 News First.
Time for sport now with Ros Kelly, and Ros, Mitchell-Starc has left the Australian cricket bubble.
Chris, Mitchell-Starc has withdrawn from the 2020 series against India due to family reasons, while Aaron Finch is out with a glute injury. Marcus Stoinis is back in action tonight, while fellow Western Australian Andrew Tye has been included for the first time in 2 years. One up in the series, India chose to bowl first, but they weren't counting on an attack from skipper Matthew Wade. Leading the 2020 side for the first time, Wade opened the batting with supreme confidence. Making the most of a chance on 39, he went on to bring up a half-century, which included 10 fours and 1 6. But his night ended thanks to a mix-up in the middle.
Nicely done. No, it's not! Juggled 3 times. The captain should be a run out. There is. It's horrible out in the middle. In the end, Wade will have to depart. By gee, it was a drop catch that Wade couldn't believe. The second Virat's drop to the series, and then he gets run out. Calamity of errors.
Glenn Maxwell doing his bit to lift the run rate before departing for 22. The Aussies aiming to square the series after going down in Game 1. And Stoinis came out swinging in the final overs to set India a target of 195 for victory. Earlier in the day, selectors kept a close eye on the action on day 1 of the tour match between Australia A and India A.
A tour match with more to play for than just practice ahead of the Test series against India, and Michael Neser struck with his first ball.
And there it is. Is that the first wicket of the match? It is.
A pair of ducks to the openers, not an ideal start for India A.
Nice, really nice.
All eyes on Cameron Green, who was economical in the first innings, none for 4 off 4 overs, including 2 maidens before lunch. Pujara looking dangerous for the visitors.
Lovely shot, bit of a flourish from Pujara.
He reached a half-century before Pattinson had his second wicket.
Got him, out. That man, Marcus Harris, at leg slip.
India A 6 for 128 at tea. Chairman of selectors Trevor Hones watching on, Rahane digging in after the break.
It's in the air for a moment, had people a little bit interested before it got through.
A scare for Kuldeep Yadav ahead of the Test series. The left-arm wrist spinner struck on his bowling hand by Mark Steketee.
The crucial left glove of Kuldeep Yadav, and he's in a bit of pain.
Yadav receiving some attention before pressing on. Travis Head seeing his stay didn't last long.
He's gone. Travis Head gets his second wicket.
A captain's innings rewarded with a century.
All class, Ajinkya Rahane, the captain of India, pushes into the covers, picks up 2 and passes 3 figures.
Rebecca Perry for 10 News First.
The Wallabies have finished last in the Tri-Nations after drawing 16-all with Argentina. Incredibly, it was Australia's 3rd draw of the year and 2nd in a row against the Pumas. Reece Hodges' last-minute penalty miss proving costly.
Yeah, there wasn't too many people lining up to have that shot, and so yeah, like it would have been nice if he'd been able to convert that. But you know, it is what it is.
The Aussies finished the season with 1 win, 3 draws and 2 losses from their 6 Test matches. Chelsea is favourite to win the Premier League, according to Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp, who's impressed by their red-hot form. The Blues moved to the top of the league with a 3-1 win against Leeds, while both Manchester clubs also made moves in the right direction.
Scores! No German precision on Timo Werner's early attempts. 2 chances, double the embarrassment for Chelsea's $86 million striker. Olivier Giroud scored 4 against Sevilla on Thursday. He also enjoys the weekends. Chelsea's dominance only grew. A powerful header from centre-back Kurt Zouma and a 93rd minute slide from Christian Pulisic took them to 3-1 and top of the league.
Fully deserved the win. I just wanted it to be more comfortable, and it was probably about the last 30 seconds.
Manchester United have been making life difficult for themselves and had to come from a goal down at West Ham, whose fans were ready to party. The Hammers claimed the ball was out in the build-up to Paul Pogba's super strike.
Step back for Pogba! Oh, what a finish! And no goalkeeper in the world is saving that.
All class in the second half as Mason Greenwood's turn and shot put United in front, and Marcus Rashford's chip over the keeper sealed 3 points to take the Red Devils up to 4th. Manchester City beat Fulham 2-0 thanks to a Raheem Sterling finish and Kevin De Bruyne penalty, while Burnley and Everton shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw. Bence Hammerly for 10 News First.
American Tony Finau was running hot in Mexico at the Mayakoba Classic, holing out during his 3rd round.
Close the gap, something just like that. The ace.
Finau is 5 strokes behind Argentinian Emilio Grillo, who'll take a 1-shot lead into the final day. Justin Thomas was the big mover, shooting a 9-under 62 to claim a share of 5th place. And just recapping the big news today, Mitchell Starc has withdrawn from the 2020 series on compassionate grounds due to a family illness. Chris.
Thanks, Roz. Coming up next, Amanda Jason is back with the weather for the week ahead.
It's Graham Norton's
Holly Dolly Christmas.
Dolly Parton has saved Christmas 2020.
Tonight on a brand new Norton.
Breeze through summer with Australia's biggest fan and exterior sale at Beacon. Shop our huge range of fans plus exciting new designs with 30% off your second fan or exterior item. Catalogue out now.
There is still magic wherever you are. Yes, there is magic. Stay young in your heart. It's still around us. It never was lost.
Cherish those golden to us with Ferrero Rocher. Fragrant hazelnuts, smooth velvety chocolate, wrapped in precious gold. Ferrero Rocher. Say it with gold.
New to Godfrey's, the Tinko Pure One S11 is cordless, lightweight and easy to use. Perfect for those messy moments. Discover our exclusive Tinko range in-store or online. Godfrey's Cleanliness.
Instead of wars, we'll have dance floors and we'll dance to this song. What a wonderful world.
Christmas brings out the little kid in everybody.
Oh, on Christmas mornings, everyone gets excited to open up their presents.
Running to the Christmas tree, unwrapping, ripping all the Christmas paper.
Even saying now that they are older, they're excited about giving me a present, which is great, which I like the most.
100%. There's something for everyone here at Christmas time. Yeah.
You know, Christmas is the time for giving, and the gift of giving is one of the best things ever.
You can put a little magic under the tree for everyone this Christmas.
We're shaking things up, WA. With Containers for Change, you get 10 cents for every eligible drink container at your local refund point. To find out where to cash in, visit containersforchange.com.au.
For years, people have tried everything to work out which is the best tasting cola. Turns out, all it takes is a sip.
Take the Pepsi Max Taste Challenge.
The new Ford Escape with wireless charging pad doesn't need a dramatic location. The new everyday effortless Ford Escape. No advertising trickery required.
When frequent heartburn kept waking me up at night, enough was enough. So I tried Nexium 24-hour.
Unlike antacids that often require multiple doses per day, Nexium 24-hour is better. Just one tablet a day can provide 24-hour protection. Live life less interrupted.
Here we are again, breaking these heat records. The science says unless we do more about climate change, we can expect a lot more in the future.
It's the attitude that we're one small country, we can't make a global difference. That is just so mindless. It's the equivalent of saying, I might as well throw my trash on the road because mine doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
News delivered differently. Next on The Sunday Project.
Tonight's top stories, the WA motorcycle community is in mourning after a Christmas charity ride turned to tragedy. One woman was killed in the crash on the Mitchell Freeway. Another rider is fighting for his life in hospital. Two German nationals have bypassed hotel quarantine in Sydney, instead getting on a connecting flight to Melbourne. The breach forced almost 200 people into isolation and left WA's scheduled reopening in limbo. And the ageing King Edward Memorial Hospital will soon be replaced, with the state government promising to build a new $1.8 billion maternity hospital.
Good evening. After what was quite a cool summer's weekend, Perth is set for a very hot week ahead.
Now, we are seeing a low pressure trough to the north of the state, bringing showers and thunderstorms. Storms bringing some pretty heavy rain across parts of the north as a low pressure trough and an unstable tropical air mass is here. That air mass will move a little further southward over the coming days, eventually bringing some rain to the south, but a low pressure trough down the west coast will help to drive up temperatures in the coming days. So Geraldton tomorrow seeing a top of 38 degrees with sunny conditions, 36 for Carnarvon and 28 for Bunbury. Storms for Port Hedland and Broome tomorrow, also for Newman and Kununurra. Meanwhile, for Perth, we're reaching tops of 33 degrees tomorrow, 35 degrees in Northam. We will see some gusty winds around the hills in the mornings, averaging around, or I should say gusting to 60 to 70 kilometres per hour. Looking ahead on Tuesday, temperatures across the city will reach 39 degrees. Eastern suburbs, we could actually see temperatures over 40 degrees. There will be the chance of thunderstorms on Tuesday, potentially with not much rain, and that will be the case again on Wednesday. 33 degrees with possible thunderstorms. The rain ramps up a little on Thursday, another top of 32 degrees. Certainly a hot week ahead for Perth. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Amanda. And that is 10 News First for tonight. I'm Chris Barth. Thanks for your company. See you next weekend. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.